Hello, welcome and welcome back to my channel. You're welcome to another episode, another exciting episode of sharing my brokenness. Yes, so my name is Favour Okpaleze, and if you're new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notifications whenever I post new videos. To my returning subscribers, you are welcome, you are welcome. And remember, if you have a story to share, we have ears to listen. So on this episode, I am going to be sharing the effects that the abuse had on me, and generally also the effects that it can have on an individual. So sit back, relax, and watch this video. Okay, so you're welcome back. You're welcome back. Okay, so one of the effects that sexual abuse can have on an individual is death. Surprising, yes, but it can have that effect of death because some people that have been sexually abused have taken their lives. So you see, it can actually cause death. And sexual abuse can also lead to one living a promiscuous life or promiscuous life. Some of these people that you see outside that are living promiscuous lives, that are selling their body for money, have gone through this, and they have gotten to that point where they feel, instead of somebody taking it from me by force, why don't I sell it? Because they feel like their private sexual space have been violated. Yes. They don't have regard for it again because the offender did not have regard for it. So they don't have regard on it again. They now sell their bodies for money. That's another effect that abuse can have on an individual. Another effect that it can have on an individual is fear. When I say fear, fear of the unknown, fear for the offender and the group of the offender or the gender of the offender, because abuse can come from both women and from men. Another effect that it can have is difficulty in sustaining relationships, whether romantic relationships or just casual friendship relationship. It can also cause low self-esteem. It can cause having to depend on people to feel complete. See, sexual abuse has different effects. It can even cause pregnancy. So it can actually also cause pregnancy. A lot of people have fallen pregnant because they were sexually abused. And then it can cause an individual to withdraw from the society. So you see somebody and the person seems like this person is antisocial. The person has withdrawn from society because the person does not see any gain in relating with people. It can also cause problems in spiritual life. It can cause problems in academics. It can cause a whole bunch of issues. But I'll just get down to the effects that it had on me. So I'll start with fear. I've discussed this on this channel, fear, that I was really fearful. So I had serious fear for the most unreasonable things. It's unconsciously I became a more fearful person. It got to a point where I could not sleep. It got to a point where the thought of sleep distresses me, because every time I remember that I will sleep, I just feel like like somebody is going to kill me. Because especially from the time I opened up about it, that fear, when I opened up about it, I hadn't started the healing journey. So that fear of somebody coming to kill me, that if I sleep I'm not going to wake up, that fear became very, very, very heavy. And then it also caused depression for me. And sometimes the bout of depression can be so heavy that I would almost get to that point where I wish myself dead. I got so depressed. Like the depression sometimes can get so heavy that any other person that I can't pretend through it. Any other person can actually see that there's something wrong with this girl. Something is just not right with this girl. Yeah, that was there. It got at some at some point, I'll just sit by the time and start singing and start composing sad songs. Funny enough, and start composing sad songs, death songs. You can imagine. Another effect that it had on me was I was seeking for validation from people. I started seeking for validation from people because I felt like something was not right with me. I felt like I was not complete. Like I told you, like I said in the previous video, I started, after what went down, I started feeling, when I grew up, and started, thinking about it, I started feeling like there was something about me that attracted it. So I kind of started blaming myself also. So it made me now start looking for validation from people instead of from within. So I would overcompensate. I became a pushover because I was trying to, I would do whatever you need me to do so that I will feel like you have accepted me, so that I will feel like you love me. Because everybody that showed me love, I feel like you love me because I am useful to you, not because you just love me. So I felt like my family loved me because they have to. They don't have any choice. That I just felt like that. I felt that way. Any other person that shows me love is showing me love because I am being useful to the person. So I try to be useful to everybody. It's not that being useful is not good, but sometimes it goes against my belief. Sometimes it goes against my need or my happiness. Yes. Sometimes I actually have to go against myself, so I'll be able to please this person and make this person happy, so that I'll feel like I have been accepted. It also, funny enough, I also had issues now connecting with God because it made me block people away. And in building that wall of protection, I also barricaded myself from God. So it was very hard connecting spiritually. It was very hard. Thank God for the kind of family that I was born in. Thank God for my background when it comes to my faith. I don't know how bad it would have gotten. It would have gotten even worse, I believe. It would have gotten worse. So yeah, I thank God for my family. I thank God for my parents, because I believe that strong presence or that strong knowledge of God in them, and that strong presence of God also made it impossible for the matter to get worse. So that wall I built against people now started acting also against God, because I could not connect. I could not connect with God. It was a difficult thing. I would pray, I would do a bunch of things, but just like I would try to have relationships with people, and I can't sustain it. That it was the same way. If there's any kind of connection, somehow I bounce back. Like, it just seemed like there was something just pushing me back, and I found out that it was the wall that I built in protecting myself that also, as opposed to now protecting me, was keeping me from God. I found it, because if you want to really enjoy your relationship with God, you have to be able to be vulnerable with God. If you want to enjoy any kind of relationship, even, you have to be able to be vulnerable. I was not in any way vulnerable, because I felt if I am vulnerable again, I'll be taken advantage of. So that leads me to the next effect that it had on me. I had serious trust issues. Like, it's difficult for me to give you second chance. It's very difficult. Like, I don't give benefit of the doubt. I don't really, everybody that came around me then, I didn't really trust them. I didn't really trust that they had the best in mind for me. I did not trust it. So I had trust issues. And if you have trust issues in your relationships, that relationship is not going to thrive. It's not one way or another, it is going to die. Because if you want to enjoy a relationship, there must be trust. If you want to enjoy, whether friendship, whether they are your siblings, whether it's your husband or your wife, if you want to enjoy that relationship, there must be some level of trust. and I could not trust people. And like I mentioned before, I could not have successful relationships. Like, I don't mean like romantic relationships. I mean, I could not really make friends. Even a teacher when I was in secondary school made the passing comments and told me, we were in class, I think I was in SS3 then. He told me that, oh, he knows that I can never maintain a relationship. Like, he had seen it play. He had seen it play over and over, that it was difficult to be somebody's friend. It was difficult to maintain a friendship. So, like, this is something that, thank God, I am working on. It is getting better and better as the days go by. But trust me, it was a really difficult thing, because up till when I started my healing journey, I didn't really have friends. I had people I would call acquaintances. I had people I would say, oh, I like them, but I never had friends. Like, somebody, when I was in the university, a woman made a comment and said, I see your sister with her friend, but I never see you with anybody. And I'm like, who needs friends? I beg, that kind of thing. Like, I felt I didn't need anybody, because I was not willing to be vulnerable. I felt I had been vulnerable and I was taken advantage of. So I don't want to be vulnerable again. So the next effect it had on me was I had serious low self-esteem. Serious low self-esteem. Like, I thought the worst about myself. If I get a compliment from somebody, I would always look for what to justify it with. Like, it was a difficult thing for me to accept compliments. At a point, I think I was in final year, when one person told me, why can't you just take a compliment and say thank you? It wasn't, I can't take a compliment and say thank you. Once you tell me you are this, or oh, this is, I will always have an excuse as to why it is that. Oh, I love that you are slim. The next excuse is, I don't eat, There was always an excuse. There was always something to justify the compliment. It was a difficult thing. Like, I thought very low of myself. I didn't really think myself of anything. I didn't really think I would be anything. Another effect it had on me was I took life too serious. And the thing is, people were just making comments about these things. They didn't really know what the problem was. Somebody says, like, you can't make a joke around me and it goes like that. If you make a joke around me, there must be something inside that joke that will trigger me, that I will not be telling you I don't like, I don't support this, that. It was difficult. I sometimes, like right now, I actually do pity those people that were around me during those times. It was, I can't even imagine. Somebody told me, and this is just somebody I met the same day. We were in an office. I was there to do something. He was there to do something. So he would, we are discussing, we are talking other things. And towards the end of the day, he told me, chill, relax. You take life too serious. When he said it, I was like, which one is take life too serious? You need to be serious about life. This, that. I really tried to justify that I'm correct being too serious about life. So when I got home, I was chatting with somebody. I just mentioned it to someone. The person was like, he was telling you the truth. And the person now gave me the same reason. The person, I was like, which one is people's own? What is your own? But it was right now. I now see what they are saying. I took life too serious. Like, I needed to chill and relax. It was a difficult thing to chill and relax. And another effect it had on me it made me withdraw. I think it's kind of like I had issues with having a relationship. It made me withdraw from people. It made me kind of almost isolate myself. If not for destined kids, trust me, I would have been even more isolated. I would have been even more antisocial, more withdrawn. But destined kids did not let that one happen. It would have really happened. So another effect it had on me was like it was difficult to forgive, not just this offender. It was difficult to forgive any crime. You cannot commit a crime against me and to go like that. And the worst of it is that every time you commit a crime against me, or I would say commit a crime like they did something big. Any time that you offend me, I pack it somewhere. Every time you offend me, I pack it and I will be keeping it. And then, but the sad thing is, one day I would explode. One day I would explode with anger. I had serious anger issues. I would explode with anger. That was like my way of trying to protect myself. I would explode with anger. I remember that. See, I have a lot of examples for that one, but it made it really difficult for me to forgive. Very difficult for me to forgive. I could not come to forgiving anybody. If you do anything against me, I am going to hold it against you till thy kingdom come. But yeah, we're over that, you know. So as for the depression, it got to a point where the thing is, whenever the depression comes, there are times that it will come so heavy on me. I will feel like the whole world is on me. So whenever such times come, the next thing I will say is, it will never be well with you wherever you are. Obviously talking to the person, or talking about the person, or trying to curse this young man. I'll say it will never, and the way I will stress it. So one day, that was in, I think, 2015. That was in 2015, early months of 2015 or December 2014. So I was really, that was one of the days that it came very heavy on me. It came very, very heavy on me, and I just withdrew, because whenever it happens, I just withdraw myself. I just withdrew and I was at home. I just withdrew from my family. We just finished eating, and I just withdrew. So in the very early hours of the next day, my dad came and woke me up and told me that he wanted to see me. So when I got into their room, my mom was already seated. So he sat, and they now started telling him that something is not right, that they are seeing that something is not right with me, that they have seen that it has actually gone beyond Favour being quiet. This is no longer Favour being quiet. This is more than Favour being a quiet child. That there must be something deeper. I didn't really want to tell them. I didn't want to tell them. I mean, this is something that happened how many years ago. I didn't want to tell them. So that day they just kept asking. I was like, there's nothing. They were like, there's something deeper. It has to be deeper than just you are a quiet child or you're a quiet person. Because the truth is, every time there's a challenge in the house, like, who will stay a whole day and they will not talk? They already need that Favour is going to win it, because I can stay mute. If I decide not to talk for a whole day, I can do it. Even though it's not possible now, but it was a very possible thing. If you want me to stay 2 days without talking, I will. I may just be singing inside my mind, because it was only song that always helped me during those times of depression. I would just play songs. Songs are a huge part of my life, or music is a huge part of my life. So that when they were asking me, I said nothing. They kept pushing. So I finally opened up to them and told them. As I told them, my parents teared up, like they started crying, because I can't begin to imagine what they were feeling, the kind of emotions that were passing through them at that moment. I can't imagine what a parent would feel when they hear that their child, that their innocent child, have been abused, sexually, abused. And the thing is that abuse has the same effects on everybody. Whether it happened to the person as a child, or it happened to the person as an adult or as a teenager, the effects I've noticed are the same. Doesn't mean that every other person has the effects the same. It can vary. Like I've mentioned, few of the effects generally. It can vary. It may be this group of effects for Mr. A and this group of effects for B, So that night was a very it was a very eventful night. So that was how I opened up to them. So I would like to give this advice. If you have gone through this, because after the first video, after telling my story and putting it out there, I actually appreciate you guys. And I saw other people's story and my heart breaks. My heart breaks for everybody that has gone through this. And for those that have not been able to heal, I pray that you will. I will get to I think in the next video we are going to be discussing on how I got to that place where I am fully healed from this event or from these events. You know, so if you, especially for those that say that they don't want to tell their parents, they have not told their parents. I replied one lady on Facebook that talked about not wanting to tell her parents because she knows that as African or Nigerian parents, that they can tend to blame or shame the child or sometimes not even believe. I told her, you're not telling, and I'm going to be telling others this, you're not telling your parents or telling your guardians this because they are necessarily going to be the ones that will take you through that journey of healing. You are just informing them of an event that has taken place in your life, an event that broke you. This is more of giving them an information. This is not, because see, the journey to healing always begins with opening up. So you are opening up to them not because they are going to help you through the journey of healing. They may help you through the journey of healing, but if you are not so fortunate to have ones that to have the parents that would say, okay, would help you through this journey of healing, you're not fortunate enough to have that kind, you should also know that it is possible for you to go through this journey of healing on your own with God. So open up to your parents, because the journey of healing always begins with opening up. It always begins with crying out, because if you don't cry out, nobody will hear you. If you don't cry out, nobody, or if you don't wave your hands and as the sea is trying to swallow you, nobody will save you. So open up, speak up about it, tell those around you about it. One, especially for those that the offenders are in the family, are those that their family trust, or the people that their family trust. The moment you open up about it, you are also protecting somebody else from what has happened to you. You are protecting another young man, you are protecting another young lady from experiencing what you have experienced, you know. And one of the effects I forgot to mention is that many of these people that have been sexually abused actually go ahead to abuse others, because it's now like a norm to them. They feel like this person wanted it and took it, whether I liked it or not. I want it, I take it, whether the next person likes it or not. And this is really a vicious cycle. This is a vicious cycle. So please open up, so that, especially like I said, for those in the family setting, so that in case this person has access to other people that he or she is not supposed to have access to, so that that access can be blocked immediately, so that the reign of that person will be stopped. Because as it happened to you, you don't even know if it has happened to somebody else, or if it will happen to somebody else. So always speak up about it, because like I said, in speaking up, your journey of healing begins. Your journey of healing begins when you speak up. God will always help you. God helps us, but many times he will also help you through men. He will help you through people. So I believe you've enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed the video, please make sure to give us a thumbs up and share this video to everyone that needs to see it. And for those that said I should make a video about the healing, I will get to making a video about the healing, because that is crucial. I actually noticed that a lot of information from the comments I got, it seemed like a lot of these people have not healed, and I am really grateful that I've come to that place of healing. And I would also love that you come to that place of healing. So I would make a video about my healing process, and that will be the next video. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, as I've said before, please make sure to subscribe so that whenever I post new videos, you would get it, or you would get notification. And remember, if you have your story to share, I will leave in the comment section and in the description box below the email that you can send your story through. Send your stories so that send your stories to the email, not the comment section. Please send your stories to the email if you want to share your story, or if you feel like it must not be a sexual abuse story. Whatever it is you think has broken you in the past and you have overcome, you can send in your story so that others also would learn, so that others also would grow. Because if it held you down for 10 years and you finally overcame it, it doesn't have to hold the next person down for 10 years for them to overcome. Your story can be what would save that person, because even the Bible says that we overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of our testimonies. Many times it will take your testimony to deliver another person. So if you know you've gone through something, if you know you've passed through high, or how do they say it, if you know you've passed through a storm, you've passed through hell, but you overcame, you can share that story and lift a soul. You can share that story and help another person heal and help another person overcome that situation. So I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Bye.